In this video, we're going to talk about our primary formation stroke system of play. As you can see, we are lined up in this scenario with the Magnets in a 4-3-3 formation. The back four being the number 3, the left back, number 4 and 5 being the centre backs, the number 2 being the right full back, the 6 being the defensive midfielder, 8 and 10 being the attacking midfield link players, 11 being the left forward, 7 being the right forward, and 9 being the striker. In this formation, the principle of play that we're going to try to achieve together as a team is going to be short passing, playing with balance, playing with organisation, playing with width. In particular, the 11 and the 7 need to be wide on the touch lines as starting positions to create good occupation of spacing out wide. Our fullbacks, number 3 and number 2, in possession, as you can see, the ball is with the centre back. I will train the players to understand how to play with wide fullbacks, so the number 3 and the number 2 being wide. And then also I will train the team to train with more inverted fullbacks where they come more into the central midfield deep playmaking role in possession of the ball, and then the wide forwards creating the width when we play against teams where we get outnumbered in the middle of the field and perhaps the central midfield area is a problem. But the general rule will be that we'll play with wide fullbacks and wide forwards, and we will train the team how to play in this way. For example, I'm now going to talk about a couple of passing patterns that we will work on in the team, especially in terms of how we progress the ball up the field and then how we move the ball in behind the opponent. So, for example, when a central defender has the ball, a passing option for the central defender is going to be to look for the free player. That may be into 6, that may be into 2. So if the ball goes into 2, then 2 is going to take a look, and 2's objective is to get the ball into 10, which is our attacking midfield player, or into 6, rather than getting the ball straight into 7. And I will explain why. I want the right fullback to play into 6. When the 6 is on the ball, his objective, if he can, is to find the 10 or to find the 9, to find the 9 vertically, or to find the 8. And keeping our left and right forwards wide, what that does is engages the other opponent's defenders, which creates space in the middle here for our central midfield players to get on the ball. This is the defensive midfield player. The defensive midfield player, let's just say, should the ball come from 2 to 6 into 8. Now, when the 8 gets on the ball facing forwards, this is now the cue. This is now the cue higher up the field in this position. This is now the cue for 11 and for 9, okay, to make runs. Now, in here, an example of one run may be an inside run in between the opposing's defender for a through pass in here. Another example of a run may simply be a ball down the side and a diagonal run from the forward into the box. And then another type of run may be he looks at the opposite forward, again, who's making an inside run in behind the defense so we can receive a pass in behind. The objective is to threaten the back of the defense with a through pass where that is calculated and organized. The movement patterns in this player and this player needs to be width to begin with to occupy the fullback and to keep defenders away from the play. But when the 8 and the 10 open up and face forward, that's the cue now for these guys to make attacking runs, whether that's in behind in the channel, whether that's an inside run to make a threatening run behind the defense, or perhaps it may be a combination that goes to the outside and then there's a give and go pass to separate a fullback so we can get in behind. When we do get in behind in this position and the ball is behind the defense, one of the principles that we're going to work on in this scenario will be the focus on low crosses versus high crosses. We've got more high percentage chances to score. Can we progress the ball into this area? When we get into this area, can we have the 9 making an attacking run, the 7 becomes the second forward inside making runs inside the 6-yard box, then we'll get the opposite forward crash into the penalty spot or the top of the box, and the 8 providing the supporting run or perhaps even making a run inside. In this scenario, and then in this scenario, obviously then we would be compressing the space and our entire team would be moving up with the fullback providing an option to drop pass, and then the number 2, the opposite side forward, depending on if he's marking a man, he may be able to push into the space should the cross get overhit and we can be involved in play. This ball here, can we have a low cross into here for a finish? Can we have a ball into the back post? Can we pull the ball back for a finish on top of the box?